Ryan wiped the sweat from his forehead as he tightened the last bolt on the damaged hover vehicle. The mining colony on this distant planet was quiet, the sun hanging low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the dusty landscape. He had been fixing machines all day, his hands dirty and tired, but he liked his work. It gave him a sense of purpose. As he finished, he noticed movement at the edge of the field. A girl, small and fragile-looking, struggled with another vehicle that had clearly broken down. She looked around, unsure of where to go, her eyes filled with worry. Ryan instinctively stood up and waved at her. "Hey, do you need some help?" he called. The girl looked relieved and nodded. "My hover vehicle is broken," she said softly. "I do not know what to do." Ryan walked over, examining the vehicle. It was old and battered, clearly not well maintained. He could see why she was having trouble. Without hesitation, he set to work. The sun was sinking, and the wind carried the faint smell of minerals from the nearby mines. While he worked, he asked, "What brings you out here alone?" The girl hesitated, looking away. "Just traveling," she said finally. "I wanted to see the colony." Ryan smiled. It was rare to see someone so young alone in this part of the planet. Most people here were miners or workers, too busy to travel. He continued working, checking the engine and replacing worn parts. The girl watched him, curious and a little amazed at how easily he handled the tools. As he worked, he asked her name. "Claire," she said. "What is yours?" "Ryan," he replied. "Nice to meet you, Claire. You seem to know your way around machines," he joked. She shook her head, a small smile appearing on her face. "No, I am not good with machines." "You are much better," she said. "It is nothing," Ryan said modestly. He worked silently for a few more minutes, focused on finishing the repair. Finally, the hover vehicle was ready. He handed her the controls and nodded. "Try it," he said. Slowly, carefully, Claire pushed the throttle and the vehicle hummed to life. She grinned, relief and joy showing on her face. "Thank you," she said. "I do not know what I would have done without you." Ryan shrugged. "It is no problem. I like helping people," he said. She looked at him for a moment, her expression softening. As they stood there, the distant hum of a patrol ship reached their ears. Ryan frowned, scanning the sky. It was unusual for ships to be this close, especially in this quiet area. Claire stiffened. "We need to go," she said, her voice tense. Ryan looked at her, puzzled. "Why?" he asked. She did not answer, just motioned for him to follow her. She climbed into the vehicle and Ryan quickly got into his own. They moved toward the nearest city, a place that looked busy even from a distance. The sun was almost gone now, and the lights of the colony began to glow softly. As they drove, Ryan tried to make conversation. "Where are you from?" he asked. Claire hesitated again. "I am just visiting," she said. It was a simple answer, but Ryan could tell there was more to it. Still, he did not press. He had learned that sometimes the right thing to do was to let people share when they were ready. The city grew closer, and the patrol ship's hum grew louder. Ryan could see why Claire had been nervous. The ship was scanning the area, looking for something or someone. He felt a protective instinct rising inside him. Whoever or whatever was coming, he would make sure she was safe. Finally, they reached the outskirts of the city. Claire slowed the vehicle and looked at Ryan, her eyes showing a mix of gratitude and worry. "Thank you," she said again. "I hope this is not trouble for you." "It is fine," Ryan said. "I'm just glad you are safe." They parked the vehicles and looked up at the patrol ship in the sky. It was still scanning, but it did not seem to notice them. Ryan felt a shiver of anticipation. Something was about to happen. He could feel it. Claire looked at him with a serious expression. "We should move," she said. Ryan nodded, following her into the city. The adventure had just begun, and he did not yet know how much this chance encounter would change both of their lives. Ryan followed Claire through the narrow streets of the city, the glow of neon signs reflecting off the metal walls of nearby buildings. The patrol ship still hovered above, but they moved quickly, blending in with the few travelers and merchants who had not yet gone inside for the night. They found a small diner open at the edge of the city. The smell of food and hot drinks was comforting, a sharp contrast to the dusty air of the mining colony. Claire led the way to a corner booth where they could watch the entrance without being noticed. "I cannot stay out here much longer," Claire said quietly. Ryan nodded, understanding her concern. The patrol ship could call for backup at any moment. Ryan ordered 2 hot drinks and some food, trying to make the situation feel normal. They sat in silence for a few moments, listening to the low hum of conversation around them. Finally, Ryan asked, "Why are you traveling alone?" Claire looked down at her cup, twisting it in her hands. "I like to see places on my own," she said. "It is easier to think that way," Ryan nodded. He knew what it was like to feel small in a big universe. He told her about his life in the colony, about the machines he fixed and the people he worked with. Claire listened carefully, asking questions and making small comments. He noticed she had a sharp mind, and even if she did not share her past, she understood much more than she let on. The diner door opened and a cold wind swept in. Ryan tensed, watching. It was only a delivery worker, but the sense of danger never fully left him. Claire seemed to notice too, her eyes scanning the room briefly before returning to Ryan. After eating, they stepped outside again. The city lights reflected off the wet streets, a reminder that the planet's weather could be unpredictable. They needed to move carefully to avoid the patrol ship and its sensors. As they walked, Ryan asked more questions about Claire, gently trying not to push too hard. "Have you lived here long?" he asked. "No, I travel a lot," she said. Her voice was calm, but there was an edge of caution. Ryan noticed the way she scanned the alleys and rooftops as they passed, always aware of her surroundings. Suddenly, a group of raiders appeared from the shadows. Their vehicles were fast and aggressive, engines roaring through the quiet streets. Ryan instinctively stepped in front of Claire. "Get behind me," he shouted. Claire hesitated for a moment, then moved quickly, showing she was not completely helpless. The raiders tried to corner them, but Ryan knew the city well enough to lead them through tight passages. He climbed onto a low wall and gestured for Claire to follow. They jumped from rooftop to rooftop, narrowly avoiding the raiders' vehicles below. Finally, they reached an abandoned warehouse at the edge of the city. Ryan helped Claire inside and closed the heavy door. They were safe, at least for now. Breathing heavily, Ryan looked at her. "You okay?" he asked. "I am fine," she said. "Thank you for helping me." She paused, her eyes serious. "You are brave." "Most people would not have done what you did." Ryan shrugged. It was instinct. He would not leave someone in danger, especially someone like her. Claire's expression softened, and for the first time, Ryan felt he could see her true self, not just the frightened girl he had met earlier. They spent the night in the warehouse, making small preparations for the next day. Ryan checked the vehicles, cleaned his tools, and made sure they had enough supplies. Claire watched and helped where she could, learning quickly and offering advice that surprised him. As the planet's twin moons rose in the sky, Ryan realized he trusted her more than he had expected. There was something about her, a strength hidden behind her quiet manner, and for some reason he knew this was only the beginning of an adventure that would change both of their lives. He sat down next to her and said quietly, "You know, I am glad I met you." Claire smiled faintly. "Me too," she said. "There is more to tell," she added, "but not yet. Not until the right time." Ryan nodded, understanding that her past and her secrets would reveal themselves in time. For now, they were partners in survival, and the journey ahead was uncertain, but full of possibilities. The next morning, Ryan and Claire left the warehouse quietly. The city was waking slowly, workers and traders moving about their routines. The patrol ship had moved on, leaving the streets safer for the moment. Ryan led Claire through back alleys to avoid attention, careful not to make any noise. As they reached a busy square, Ryan noticed subtle signs of wealth on Claire. The coins she carried were rare, and her clothing, though simple, had fine threads and materials he had rarely seen. Curiosity grew in him, but he did not ask yet. They stopped at a small cafe for breakfast, Claire ordered quietly, while Ryan kept watch on the square. He noticed the way people seemed to glance at Claire as if they recognized her, but no one approached. It was odd, and Ryan felt a tingle of concern. Over breakfast, Ryan asked about her family. Claire looked down at her cup, hesitating before answering. "I do not have much family where I am from," she said. "Just a few people I trust." Ryan nodded, sensing there was more. He wanted to ask, but he respected her silence. He shared more about himself, talking about his work in the colony, the machines, and the people he knew. Claire listened, asking questions that showed she understood more than she let on. After breakfast, they walked toward the spaceport at the edge of the city. Claire's vehicle needed fuel, and Ryan wanted to check the engines again. As they walked, Ryan decided to take a chance. "Claire," he said carefully, "I have to ask. You're not just a regular traveler, are you?" Claire looked at him steadily. "You were observant," she said. "It is time to tell you the truth." Ryan's heart beat faster. He braced himself. She continued, "I am the queen of a galactic empire. I have been traveling in secret to understand my people and the planets." Ryan blinked, surprised, but he quickly collected himself. He admired her honesty and courage. "That is amazing," he said. "I did not expect that. Why come here alone?" "I wanted to see life as it really is," she said. "Not from a palace window, to understand who I can trust." Ryan nodded. "I understand. It must be difficult." Claire smiled faintly. "It is, but now I trust you," she added. They reached the spaceport, and Ryan helped check the hover vehicle. He noticed it was equipped with systems far beyond what he had seen before. Claire explained some of it, but only in general terms. He marveled at her knowledge and skill. As they prepared to leave, a message came through Claire's communicator. It was a warning. The council members of her empire had noticed her absence and were sending agents to bring her back, by force if necessary. She stiffened, her calm demeanor changing to urgency. "We need to move quickly," she said. Ryan nodded, feeling a rush of determination. Whatever was coming, he would help her. They took off in the vehicle, flying low over the city to avoid sensors. The streets blurred below them, and the wind carried the faint hum of engines from distant ships. Ryan focused on navigation while Claire scanned for threats, her eyes sharp and alert. Suddenly, an alert flashed on the dashboard. A patrol drone was approaching, scanning for them.
"Oh."
Ryan felt a surge of adrenaline. "I will handle this," he said. He pushed the controls, activating evasive maneuvers. The vehicle jumped and weaved, narrowly avoiding detection. Claire watched, impressed by his skill under pressure. Once clear, they slowed down and landed near an abandoned hangar on the outskirts. They stepped out, breathing heavily, but safe for now. Claire looked at Ryan, gratitude and respect shining in her eyes. "Thank you," she said. "You are brave, Ryan. Not many would do what you did." "I am just doing what is right," he said simply. Her eyes softened, and he felt a connection stronger than he had imagined. He realized that their meeting was no coincidence. It was the start of something larger, something that would change their lives forever. As they settled in the hangar, Claire spoke quietly. "We need to plan carefully. The council will not give up easily." Ryan nodded, ready to stand by her side, no matter what lay ahead. Ryan and Claire crouched in the shadows of the abandoned hangar, listening to the distant hum of engines from the city. Claire's face was serious. The council agents were searching for her, and they would not stop until she was captured. Ryan felt the weight of the responsibility, but he did not hesitate. He had promised to help her, and he intended to keep that promise. "We need to move fast," Claire said. "They cannot know where we are." Ryan nodded, checking their vehicle. It was ready for another journey, and he was ready to face whatever came next. They slipped out of the hangar and headed toward a less populated area. The city lights faded behind them as they drove over rough terrain. Ryan guided the vehicle skillfully, avoiding patrols and drones. Claire kept watch, alert for any sign of danger. Suddenly, a patrol drone appeared ahead, scanning the ground. Ryan acted quickly, steering the vehicle into a narrow canyon. The drone followed, but could not fit through the tight passage. They ducked low, the vehicle scraping rocks on either side, and finally emerged on open ground. Claire exhaled, impressed. "You are good at this," she said. Ryan shrugged, feeling a mix of pride and determination. Their relief was short-lived. Further ahead, a group of agents in fast vehicles appeared, blocking the only path forward. Ryan cursed under his breath. Claire grabbed his arm. "We can do this together," she said. "Trust me." Ryan nodded. He had learned to trust her instincts, and he knew she was right. They pushed the vehicle to its limits, dodging obstacles and weaving between the agents' vehicles. Claire helped by giving directions and warning him of threats. The chase was intense, but they worked as a team, their movements synchronized. Finally, they reached a high ridge overlooking the city. The agents could not follow without being seen, They stopped to catch their breath. Claire looked at Ryan with a serious expression. "You saved me again," she said. "I do not know what I would have done without you." Ryan felt a warmth in his chest. It was not just the adrenaline of the chase, it was something more. "We make a good team," he said. She smiled, a rare, genuine smile that made Ryan's heart skip a beat. They spent the night in a small cave on the ridge. Ryan checked the vehicle and equipment, while Claire made simple preparations for their meal. They were tired, but the danger was still near. The council would not stop until she was back under their control. As they rested, Ryan asked carefully, "Can you tell me more about the council? Who are they really?" Claire looked thoughtful. "They are powerful, greedy, and willing to do anything to gain control. I cannot let them succeed." Ryan nodded, understanding the stakes. He had promised to protect her, and he would not break that promise. The next morning, they continued their journey. Ryan was more cautious, scanning the area constantly. Claire used her knowledge of the Empire to find safe paths and avoid detection. They relied on each other completely, and their bond grew stronger with every challenge. Along the way, they encountered another group of raiders. Ryan and Claire had no choice but to confront them. Ryan used his engineering skills to set traps and block their path, while Claire directed him with calm authority. Together, they managed to drive the raiders away without serious injury. After the encounter, Ryan looked at Claire with admiration. "You're amazing," he said. She smiled faintly, but her eyes were serious. "We do what we must," she said. Ryan realized that she was not just a girl in need of help. She was strong, intelligent, and capable. He felt lucky to be by her side. The day ended with them finding shelter in a hidden valley. They shared a quiet moment, looking at the stars above. Ryan spoke softly. "I never expected to meet someone like you." Claire looked at him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "I am glad I met you too," she said. "We have a long road ahead and we will face it together." Ryan nodded, feeling ready for whatever challenges awaited them. Their journey was far from over, but for the first time, he felt hope and determination. Together, they could face anything. Ryan and Claire woke early, the valley bathed in soft light from the rising sun. They had spent the night in tents, hidden among rocks and trees. Claire looked at Ryan seriously. The council would not stop, and they needed allies. "We need help," she said. "We cannot do this alone." Ryan nodded. He trusted her judgment, and he knew she was right. They began to make plans. Claire explained the political situation of her empire, how the council members were trying to seize control in her absence. Ryan listened carefully, absorbing the details. Had never imagined politics could be so dangerous. They decided to recruit a small team of trustworthy people from different planets. Claire knew individuals who could be relied upon, and Ryan would help by using his skills to ensure they were prepared for anything. The first to join them was Ethan, a pilot from a nearby trading colony. He was loyal and skilled, and he owed Claire a favor from the past. Next was Lily, a medic who had worked in dangerous zones. Her knowledge of medicine and survival would be invaluable. Together, they trained and planned. Ryan modified vehicles and created simple but effective defensive systems. Claire coordinated strategies and communicated with allies secretly. Their team became efficient quickly, each member trusting the others completely. As the days passed, the council's agents continued searching. Ryan and Claire had to move often, changing locations to stay ahead. Their teamwork improved, and their bond grew stronger. Ryan admired Claire's intelligence and leadership. She relied on him not just for protection, but for ideas and support. One day, while scouting a nearby city, they encountered another group of council spies. Ryan and Ethan quickly devised a distraction, allowing Claire and Lily to move to safety. The plan worked perfectly, and the spies were confused, giving them time to escape. Claire smiled at Ryan, impressed. "You are clever," she said. He shrugged. "I just use what I know," he replied. She nodded, her eyes showing respect. The team continued their journey, moving from planet to planet, gathering allies and information. Ryan became more confident in his abilities, realizing that he could make a difference. Claire's leadership inspired everyone, and Ryan felt proud to be by her side. One evening, as they rested in a small safe house, Claire turned to Ryan. "Thank you for trusting me," she said. He looked at her, surprised. "I trust you because you are brave and smart," he said. "We have faced dangers together, and I know you will succeed." Claire's expression softened, and she placed her hand briefly on his shoulder. There was a quiet moment of understanding between them. They were not just allies in survival, but companions sharing a common goal. The journey ahead would be difficult, but together they could face anything. The next day, they received news from a contact. A council agent had been spotted near a trade hub they planned to visit. Ryan and Claire quickly prepared their team. They devised a plan to avoid confrontation while gathering important information. Ryan checked equipment and vehicles, making sure everything was ready. As they moved toward the trade hub, Ryan noticed Claire's calm confidence. She had changed since they first met. She was no longer just a girl in need of help. She was a leader, and Ryan felt proud to support her. They successfully navigated the trade hub, avoiding the council agent and gathering valuable intelligence. The team celebrated their small victory, knowing that each step brought them closer to reclaiming the Empire and defeating the corrupt council members. That night, Ryan and Claire sat outside looking at the stars. The universe seemed vast and full of possibilities. Ryan spoke softly. "I never imagined my life could be like this." Claire smiled faintly, her eyes reflecting the light of distant planets. "I am glad you are here with me," she said. Ryan nodded. Together they would face whatever came next, ready to fight for justice, survival, and a future that belonged to them both. Ryan and Claire gathered their team early in the morning. The council had grown bolder, and their next move had to be precise. Claire laid out a detailed plan to expose the corrupt council members and regain control of her empire. Ryan listened carefully, ready to offer technical solutions and support. Their plan combined Claire's political influence with Ryan's engineering skills. They would infiltrate key council facilities, gather evidence, and coordinate with allies on nearby planets. Every step had to be synchronized, or they risked failure. Ryan worked on the vehicles, upgrading engines and creating simple stealth systems. He also modified communications equipment so they could send coded messages safely. Claire oversaw strategy, assigning tasks to each team member based on their skills. Days of preparation passed quickly. The team ran drills, practiced maneuvers, and ensured every detail was ready. Ryan found himself growing more confident. He had never imagined he could contribute so much, and seeing Claire's trust in him made him determined to succeed. On the eve of their operation, Claire pulled Ryan aside. "We need to be ready for anything," she said. "The council will try to stop us, and they have resources we cannot match." Ryan nodded. "I understand. Whatever happens, we face it together." The next day, they set their plan in motion. Ryan piloted one of the vehicles, while Claire coordinated with allies through secure channels. The team moved quickly, avoiding patrols and security systems. Every moment was tense, but their training paid off. They reached the first council facility without detection. Inside, they found valuable documents and communication logs. Ryan used his skills to bypass electronic locks and security measures. Claire guided him, telling him which files were most important. The team worked efficiently, and before long, they had gathered enough evidence to confront the council. As they exited the facility, alarms suddenly blared. The council had detected their presence in another area. Ryan and Claire acted fast, leading the team through secret passages and using their knowledge of the city's layout to evade capture. They moved with precision, their trust in each other evident in every action. Outside, Ryan's vehicle was ready. They climbed in, racing through the streets, dodging patrols and automated defenses. Claire directed the team, giving clear instructions and ensuring everyone stayed together. The chase was intense, but their preparation and teamwork kept them ahead. Finally, they reached a secure location where allies were waiting. Claire immediately began transmitting the evidence to trusted leaders across the Empire. Ryan helped set up defenses, making sure the team was safe while the information spread. Their efforts were working. The council could no longer hide their corruption. As the day ended, the team celebrated quietly. Ryan looked at Claire, seeing pride and relief in her eyes. She turned to him, smiling. "We did it," she said. "Without you, none of this would have been possible." Ryan shook his head. "We all did it together," he said. "But your leadership made the difference." Claire's smile widened, and for a moment, the weight of responsibility seemed lighter. That night, Ryan and Claire stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The stars shone brightly above, and the universe felt vast and full of possibilities. Ryan spoke softly. I never imagined my life would lead to this. Claire looked at him, her eyes reflecting the starlight. I am glad you are here with me, she said. Together they had faced danger, deception, and uncertainty. They had grown stronger, not just as allies, but as friends who could trust each other completely. Ryan nodded. Whatever comes next, we will face it together. Claire smiled, knowing that the adventure was not over, but confident that with Ryan and their team, they could meet any challenge that lay ahead. The bond they had formed was unbreakable, and the Empire's future was in capable hands. The morning sun rose over the city as Ryan and Claire prepared for the final step of their plan. The council had been weakened, their corruption exposed, but a few loyal agents still tried to resist. Ryan checked the vehicles and equipment, ensuring everything was ready. Claire gathered the team, giving clear instructions and boosting morale. Their operation began at dawn. Ryan piloted a vehicle while Claire directed the team, coordinating movements with allies across different sectors. The streets were tense, but their planning and teamwork allowed them to move efficiently. Every member of the team had a role, and they executed it with precision. They reached the council headquarters, a tall, fortified building in the heart of the city. Ryan and the team bypassed security systems, while Claire led the way to the main council chamber. Inside, the remaining corrupt members were surprised and unprepared. Claire stepped forward, holding the evidence they had gathered. The council members tried to argue, but the documents, logs, and communications proved their wrongdoing beyond doubt. Allies outside broadcasted the proof across the Empire, leaving the council with no chance to hide. The council surrendered, and Ryan watched as order was restored. He felt a sense of relief and pride. Leadership had been decisive, and their teamwork had made it possible. After the council was dealt with, Claire officially reclaimed her position. She stood at a balcony overlooking the city, addressing the people. Ryan stood by her side, supporting her quietly. The citizens cheered, welcoming their queen back and celebrating the restoration of justice. Ryan felt a rush of emotion. He had met Claire as a girl in need of help, and now she stood as the rightful ruler of an empire. Yet she remained the same person he had first met, brave, smart, and kind. He admired her deeply. Later in private, Claire turned to Ryan. She smiled warmly. I could not have done this without you, she said. Ryan shook his head. Did it together, he replied. You led, and we followed. But your courage made all the difference. Claire reached out and took his hand. For a moment there was silence, filled with understanding and unspoken feelings. Ryan felt a warmth in his chest, knowing that their bond had grown stronger than any challenge they had faced. They spent the evening planning for the Empire's recovery, ensuring that the remaining council members would not cause trouble again. Ryan contributed ideas and practical solutions, while Claire guided the process with wisdom and authority. Their teamwork had proven powerful, and it continued to strengthen as they worked. As night fell, Ryan and Claire stood on the palace balcony, looking at the stars. The universe stretched endlessly before them, full of possibilities and adventures yet to come. Ryan spoke softly. I never imagined life could bring me here. Claire turned to him, her eyes bright with hope and determination. I am glad you are here with me, she said. I hope you will stay. Ryan smiled, squeezing her hand gently. Together, we can face anything, he said. The city below was calm, the Empire stable for the first time in years. Allies and citizens celebrated, but Ryan and Claire knew that vigilance would always be necessary. Yet with trust, courage, and teamwork, they were ready for any future challenge. Their journey had started with a simple act of kindness. Ryan helped a girl with a broken hover vehicle, never imagining the adventure and responsibility it would bring. Now, they had changed each other's lives forever. Ryan had found purpose, and Claire had found a partner she could trust completely. Together, they looked at the stars, ready to explore the universe and face whatever came next. The bond between them was unbreakable, and their story was just beginning.